And now, the general weather around Alaska.
Hello, I'm meteorologist Peter Chan coming to you from the National Weather Service in Alaska region, and this is Alaska Weather, a YouTube video that gives you a summary of the weather across the state of Alaska. It is Thursday, August 22nd, 2024. If you'd like additional weather information on top of what I provide in this YouTube video, you can go to weather.gov. It'll bring you to a map of the continental U.S. with Hawaii, Alaska to the lower left, and then tabs for the various territories. And a quick check of the map on this Thursday afternoon. We still have excessive heat here across Texas into Oklahoma. Orange areas are heat advisories, and the darker magenta red areas are excessive heat warnings. We have air temperatures in the triple digits, and that combined just with the humidity and dryness, there's really creating excessive stress and heat, especially anyone having to do something outside, let alone the power grid there. Now back here to the west, there are red flag warnings across much of Nevada into western Utah due to extreme fire weather conditions. So they're dealing with the potential for wildfires. But here, fire season in Alaska has essentially ended. There's really no threat of widespread fires breaking out or spreading quickly at this point. We've had a lot of rainfall in areas along with cooler temperatures, and a cooler and wet early fall pattern is going to set up across much of the mainland this weekend into next week. We're going to see across the interior areas of rain or rain showers with some snow in the Brooks and Alaska ranges. And then of another note, as we are sliding toward fall, the number of sunspots of the current solar cycle 25 is at a 20-year high. I'll tell you a bit more about what that may mean. And then just kind of as we round out this month, going to the early days of September, a progressive, occasionally wet pattern will continue across much of the state into early September. So Nome, the other day dealing with a pretty potent Bering Sea storm, which was the remnants of Typhoon Ampel, now still has some low clouds and light rain, 46 degrees, still some breezy conditions. There's a secondary disturbance rolling through the Seward Peninsula and Norton Sound right now, but not as potent as the one yesterday. Shugnuck there, as you go up inland, the western interior, light rain, 45 degrees, and been some higher water levels there on the Kobuk River. That'll continue as the last couple of storm systems have put down well over a few inches of rainfall. Denali National Park, some light rain showers, 45 degrees, but as we go through the weekend, a little cooler temperatures settling in. You'll probably see some snow as you look up at the mountains and a little higher up in elevation. That'll also be the case up along the Brooks Range as a cold front will be pushing through there Saturday. Kassan down in the southern parts of the Panhandle. Mostly cloudy, 64 degrees. Yesterday, temperatures there were in the lower 70s. And the southern Panhandle actually has had kind of a little bit of a droughty condition going on there. It's been definitely drier than normal, and a little bit of rain is moving in there now. So that'll relieve the dry conditions, and it looks like maybe occasional wetness heading your way there in the Panhandle, especially central northern areas here as we go through the next several days. Almost looks like a little bit of a lenticular cloud there out over the water. But taking a look at what we have going on now in the remaining advisories, special weather statements, we'll start with here along the northwest coast. These high surf advisories are coming down late this afternoon at 4 p.m. So those will be ending. But we still have a high surf advisory along especially the north end of Kuskokwim Bay, Newdock to Kipnik. Surf could run 1 to 3 feet above the normal high tide. It's been just some higher water there. The other thing of note is that this blue area represents the special weather statement, and we have very high water levels on the Kuskokwim River from McGrath all the way downstream. Water levels are running twice their normal values for this time of year, and it's been a very wet period. We've had 3 storms come in from off the Bering, producing plenty of rainfall. And even though we're not anticipating any significant flooding, of note, the water levels will remain high there as we go through the next couple of days as all that water works its way gradually down the Kuskokwim River basin. Just be aware of that. So now here is an image of the sun, the solar disk from today, August 22nd. And look at these large sunspot groups. If you have a telescope with a filter, safety filter there, you can look at the sun. You'd be able to see these, even eclipse glasses. If the sun were near the horizon just before setting, you might be able to see some of these larger sunspots. And of note, why is that important? Well, the number of monthly sunspots is now at a just over 20-year high. We haven't seen them this high since solar cycle 23, and the current number for this cycle the past couple of months has been right around 230. And this is kind of an indicator as we approach the solar maximum coming up with solar cycle 25. That means as we approach solar maximum, the likelihood of increased solar activity leads to a better chance of seeing the aurora. We have the new moon coming up on September 3rd. We just got past full moon this past weekend and earlier in the week, so the moon phase right now this Thursday evening is a waning gibbous moon. And the Alaska aurora viewing should be improving as we head into the fall months, because we're going to get more darkness at night. And with the increase towards solar maximum, we can expect more disturbances from the sun that could trigger some brighter aurora displays. The only thing that makes the aurora viewing in the fall trickier is that we tend to have more storm systems with cloud cover, so more often than not we get clouded out when there's a really good night of aurora. But certainly anytime you have clear skies this time of year going through the fall, it's always good to check the night sky if you really want to see a good display of the northern lights. And here's the other thing, fire danger knocked down big time. We had still earlier this week an area of higher fire danger in the upper Tanana Valley, but that sense has come down due to the fact cooler temperatures, higher humidities, and rain showers. And essentially the fire season for the state is over with now. There's really no threat of any big fast spreading fires. You just can't sustain those kind of fires in this environment. So that's good news. And looking at the satellite imagery, put it in motion. So we've had secondary low out here in the northern Gulf. We have the main system that came in yesterday pushing up north of Utqiagvik. Here's a secondary system that's currently working its way into the Seward Peninsula and Norton Sound. It's still back here just west of, outside of the Gulf of Anadyr and just west of St. Lawrence. That's heading eastward. We've had some clearing in through south central. Enjoy that because it's not going to last long. And there's still some very warm air along and south of the Alaska Peninsula and the Aleutians, and north of there's some cloud cover. And as we go ahead here, here's the weakening area of low of the northeastern Gulf. There are some clouds and showers pushing across the panhandle today, and even southern areas that have been very dry this summer may get in on some rain here between now and into next week. There'll be a couple of other systems moving through that'll provide some chances of rain. Back to the west, we have this front kind of stalled out where you have some very moist, almost more tropical-like air south of there. And then to the north, there's a shot of colder air coming in out of eastern Russia and the Arctic Ocean. That's going to be pushing across the mainland this weekend. And here's what's going to help usher it in. This is the second system, so the remnants of Ample have shifted off near and north of Beaufort Sea, and then here's this little secondary system. The cold front behind that's what's going to rotate through and draw down cooler air as we go into Friday and Saturday. So late tonight, early Friday morning, that low will be pushing across the Seward Peninsula with some additional showers. Breezy conditions, but not as windy as this last storm. And then as we look off to the southwest, this low here along the central Aleutians is not strong at all. It's just kind of a feature that's going to work its way eastward and end up just south of the Gulf as we get into Saturday. The main feature is as this colder air pushes across the mainland, it's heading southeastward. It's going to have, the interior will have areas of rain and rain showers in the lower elevations, but the Brooks Range and the Alaska Range will have some snow. So people heading out into the backcountry, if you're getting up into any sort of elevation, especially middle elevation, you're going to likely see some snow. So be prepared for colder and wet conditions that include rain changing to snow, if not all out a wet snow. And then by Saturday, the colder air presses all the way on through. We're going to see temperatures 40s and 50s instead of in the 60s with sunshine. And that system will also eventually feed more showers into areas of the panhandle. And again, up along the Arctic coast, some of the cooler temperatures you'll be able to see when I show you the temperatures coming up here. So lows generally 40s, a few 50-plus degree readings in the panhandle, mainly in the far south around Ketchikan and say toward Sitka, notice cool down here, 41 there in the Copper River Basin. And again, if there is some clearing, there could be some patchy fog in the morning. And then temperatures Friday afternoon, nice 60 still, southern panhandle. Actually, much of the panhandle, relatively speaking. Warmest readings, though, again, Metlakatla, Ketchikan, 66, 67, even still around and just above 60, Anchorage, Bowl, Kenai. But temperatures generally now cooling down in the 40s at night. Same thing, much of the panhandle, 40s, a few warmer 50s, maybe 53 in the far south. But temperatures come Saturday with that front coming in with cloud cover and some rain showers should be confined to the 50s. Still 65 in the southern panhandle, maybe 66 up there at Skagway, but definitely cooler temperatures overspreading south central. And then looking at the interior, lows starting to get down in the 30s along the northwest coast. Not really feeling it yet. We've got temperatures in the 50s in the Yukon Valley. Again, a far cry from the 70s, 80s, even near 90s we saw a little more than a week ago. And then here we come Saturday morning. A number of temperatures along the Brooks Range will be at or below freezing, with the potential for some snow there. Highs only in the 40s. Seward Peninsula maybe around or just above 50 to mid 50s in through the Yukon Valley. And same thing, excuse me, the interior Friday morning, lows in the 40s, and coming down along the Alaska Peninsula, a few areas near 50, say around Dutch Harbor, and as you head up northward. And as we get up for temperatures Friday afternoon, only lower 50s at best along the lower Kuskokwim, Bethel, say up to Anvik and areas. Further down along the Alaska Peninsula, mid-upper 50s for highs. Again, lows getting down into the 40s, lower 40s across the southwest interior, with high temperatures on Saturday generally confined to the 40s and 50s. 50s as you get down here on the south end of the Alaska Range and coming down along the Alaska Peninsula, generally highs mid-50s. So as we head toward the very end of the month, the start of September, the cold that we're going to see here develop over the weekend into much of next week will relax a bit. It will not be as cool across this area as it's going to get here this weekend and first half of next week. By the time we get out toward the end of next week and just prior to Labor Day, the coldness should relax because we're going to see more of a west-southwest flow of the weather system, so that'll allow a little milder air to come back north. So it will not be as cold as what this area will see this weekend. First half of next week. That'll allow the northeast to moderate, especially up there around Arctic Village to Kaktovik, and more normal, near normal temperatures across the Panhandle. Precipitation-wise, though, still see a focus on south central, this time around the Kenai, Prince William Sound, lower Copper River Basin, Chugach, maybe the southeast part of the Talkeetna Mountains. It has a better chance of above normal temperatures because we're going to have weather systems come in from the southwest that will pull moisture northward. So we find that, yes, above normal precipitation is potentially extending further north past the middle Yukon Valley. And with drier than normal conditions still expected over the southern panhandle there in the vicinity of Klawak and Ketchikan.